Well, Desiree, this morning, Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo will rule on whether former President Jacob Zuma's son, Duduzane, as well as the Gupta brothers, will be able to cross-examine witnesses. You would recall that he reserved judgment last week after hearing arguments from the legal teams of those implicated. Recall, of course, that RJ Gupta had been implicated in state capture by the former Deputy Finance Minister Mcebisi Jonas, who basically said that RJ Gupta had offered him millions in order to accept a post as a finance minister. RJ Gupta was also implicated by former ANC MP Vytjie Mentor, who said that she was offered a ministerial position in 2010 at the Saxon World compound of the Gupta family here in Johannesburg, and Duduzane Zuma also implicated by the former Deputy Finance Minister as well as Vytjie Mentor. So that decision is expected here today. But I think, Desiree, what's very crucial, what we're looking to today, is to see basically what Justice Zondo will say pertaining to the request by the Gupta family to basically give their testimony outside of the borders of South Africa or via video link. You'd recall that it really raised a couple of eyebrows, and we want to know basically at this stage what Justice Zondo will say about that. There have been accusations that the Gupta family has basically been trying to dictate the terms of how the Commission should do their work. Recall that the legal representative for RJ Gupta, Mike Helens, in his argument last week, had indicated that the Guptas do not want to come to South Africa because they don't know what their status is. You'd recall that the Hawks had said that RJ Gupta was a fugitive from justice, and the Guptas are basically saying they have no faith in the National Prosecuting Authority as well as the Hawks, and they do not want to come to South Africa, and are basically saying that that testimony they're willing to give outside of the borders of South Africa or via video link. So what conditions basically, if Justice Zondo does agree to that, what conditions will he place on that? Of course, that's if he does agree to have it the Gupta brothers' way. And I think, of critical importance at this stage is that Duduzane Zuma, we would know now, has also agreed to give his side of the story. And ironically, Desiree, while that is all said and done, just yesterday, we saw the former President, Jacob Zuma, who's also been implicated by the likes of the former CEO of GCIS, Themba Maseko, who basically said he'd received a call from the former president asking him to help the Guptas. Just yesterday in Mthatha in the Eastern Cape, the former president saying there's no such as state capture. Let's have a listen.
Judiciary is not captured. Is it captured? Is Parliament captured? Is the executive captured? So where is the state capture? Where is it? Now, as students, why don't we debate these issues? Why do we just swallow? Just swallow anything that people say. It is a politically decorated expression to achieve something I don't know. I mean, I will challenge anyone. There is no state capture in South Africa. There are people who did things to others in one form or the other. Right? And you can call it in any other, not this big name, state capture.
There you have it. There is no state capture in South Africa. Chriselda, how do you think this assertion by former President Jacob Zuma will be addressed at the Commission?
Well, Desiree, that's a really explosive statement to come from the former President, Jacob Zuma, given the fact that I already indicated that the former CEO of Government Communications, Themba Maseko, had implicated the former President when he said, when the RJ Gupta was trying to woo him to divert millions in terms of advertising funds to Gupta-linked media companies, he said he'd received a call from the former President, Jacob Zuma, from his Mahlabandlovu residence, asking him to assist the Gupta family. And also former ANC MP Vytjie Mentor saying that when she was at the Gupta Saxon World compound here in Johannesburg, former President Jacob Zuma had walked in after RJ Gupta had basically offered her a ministerial position. And we already saw the attitude of the former president towards this commission when his lawyers had indicated here that he was not willing to cross-examine any of the witnesses, given the fact that, according to him, they have not implicated him ethically or criminally in state capture. So really, I think this has raised several eyebrows, Desiree, about the attitude of the former president in this. And to your next question, Desiree, on whether there will be any witnesses will be testifying here today, that will not be happening. We understand from the commission that the next witness will take the stand on Monday next week, and we're expecting that to be from the banking sector, and that will focus very much on the closure of the Gupta's bank accounts here in South Africa.
Well, Chriselda, thank you so much. What time do you expect proceedings to begin this morning?
10 o'clock, Desiree.
Thank you very much. Chriselda Lewis is on the job for us there in Parktown, where the Commission into State Capture is taking place. But our poll this morning